As a kid growing up in some small town in Canada, Melbourne, Australia seemed as far away from me as possible. I mean, I guess, it's physically one of the furthest places on Earth from where I grew up. But still, starting with an unhealthy adoration of AC/DC and then Crocodile Dundee and Yahoo Serious.
I know those words, but that sign makes no sense.
And then the Simpsons episode and the Saints. I've always been excited about Australia. None of those things are really Melbourne-centric, though. Also Melbourne, Melbin, Melbs. There's no real way to explain why Melbourne specifically sticks out in my brain. Brody Dahl of the Distillers is from there. One of my best friends I've ever made in the service industry, Chris Hamburger, owns a cafe there. It's called Staggerly's. It's adorable. And yes, Hamburger is his name. And no, we don't need to talk about it. So in 2015, when I first got to visit Melbourne, Melbin, I loved it as much as I thought I would. It felt warmer, in all ways, than Toronto. Also in 2015, Melbourne, and a little bit Sydney, were really at the forefront of cocktail bar dorkery. The Black Pearl, the Everly, Noble Experiment, 1806, and a whole bunch more were places that were being written about in Imbibe magazine, and they were winning all kinds of awards. And also, in Melbourne, there's an entire alley dedicated to AC/DC. I'm Josh Lindley, and this is Branching Out from Bartender Atlas. I have a wish list of people to start these chains off for this podcast. A big part of making that list is picking people from as far away as possible. Luckily, through Bartender Atlas, we have pals everywhere. Jenna Hemsworth has, since we launched, been on board. She was in Melbourne first, and then Sydney for a long time and worked at a lot of notable bars. I'll let her tell her own story because I've been telling too many stories here lately. Just let it be known that Jenna Hemsworth operates from a place of genuine love for this industry and the people that have helped her in her career. She was the perfect person to have as the beginning of a chain on Branching Out. Listen for yourself. So I think I outlined everything pretty well when I was explaining what we're doing with this podcast. So I'm going to jump in. We will be editing it, and there's no video thing that you need to worry about.
Thank God. It's been a couple of days. It's been a year.
Yeah, it's been a year. It's been a year. Wow.
It's been one.
Dear Jenna Hemsworth, I'm so happy to have you on Branching Out. Rather than me reading a bio that you never sent me because I never asked you to.
Oh, good, because I was like, oh, shit.
Why don't you tell me and all the listeners who you are and what you do?
Well, my name is Jenna Hemsworth. I'm from Australia. I've lived in Melbourne at the start of my career, moved to Sydney for a good 9 years, and I am just freshly back in Melbourne again now. I have worked in cocktail bars across both of those states. I have entered a whole bunch of cocktail competitions because they're really fun. I've won a bunch of them. I've lost a bunch of them. I have had the amazing opportunity to travel quite a bit for work. I'm hoping to continue that in the coming years.
Yeah. So Jenna, you said you've been working in bars 16, 18 years, something like that?
Something like that, if I math it out.
When did you decide that being a bartender or doing bar adjacent things was it for you?
That is a good question because up until very recently, I don't think I ever made my mind up that that's what I was going to do. I think I've just been living in a state of kind of, let's just see how it goes. And maybe that does come down to not really stopping and taking stock of all of the crazy things I've done and believing that I'm actually able to make a career with longevity out of this. Like, it's just something that you kind of feel could be taken away from you at any moment because, one, it's a job that's very physical in most aspects of it, and that could be, removed when your body decides you've had enough, you've had enough. It's something that's very strongly tied to your mental health. So I've been through periods where my brain or my health has just been like, enough's enough, and I've had to take time to stop and reassess, what's the best course of action for me, or what's the best future for me. Is that in this industry? Is it not? I think maybe an inkling the first time I got behind a bar, I was like, this is home. But again, fuck around and find out for a good 18 years and see if you're still here. I guess that's the next kind of good indicator that this is something that I was supposed to do. So I did start to get myself through uni. I was spending more time studying whiskey than I was studying my degree. So that was, again, a little early indicator that this might be my my calling, my passion, I guess. And then when I finished that degree, I decided I'll give it a couple of years, a year or two, just see how far I can take this, have a bit of fun, like my little gap year or whatever you would call it. Decided that paid the bills a lot better than an entry-level medical research job. So I continued it for a little bit longer. And we're still here. We're still continuing it. I'm still learning stuff every day. I'm still finding new aspects of the industry that I never knew existed, that I didn't think were options. And I'm still making it up as I go and having the best time ever.
Yeah, I imagine you went to school for some sort of medical research then.
Yes. I did a biomedicine degree and loved it. Huge science nerd. But found a lot of parallels in the liquor industry as well with that kind of, scientific mind, but a really good intersection of science and art. So those appealed to two different styles of my thinking. But then such that interconnection with personal connections with other people as well, and the ability that you have to make people feel a certain way, that's just crazy. Like no one gets that in their job, is that human interaction day to day. Like outside of bars, I hate people. I'm the most antisocial person ever, but there's something about getting to do your job well and giving people this experience and just really, it's just such a powerful thing that you have to make people feel good on what sometimes is a really special occasion or, a bad day. It's just you have a really nice way of influencing people's lives. Yeah,
so you said you started working in bars in university. You obviously were taken with the social aspect of it, despite, maybe you're an introvert when there's not a bar right in front of you. But
yes.
Is there anything else that you're into, any hobbies that you have that you've ever thought about trying to either bring into the bar or bring into, like a career-mindedness to other things that you're interested in?
Not like a hobby as such. Sorry, my housemate is just giving me the eyes. What hobby do I have? I love arts and crafts. So just like doing little tinkering with my hands and stuff like that. Yeah, just like anything that is like a building, putting things together, taking them apart. Anything that's like, none of that really kind of translate into the industry as such.
Well, I think it's great to keep stuff separate like that though, too.
Yeah. It's, once you bring it into being your work, like, does that take away the fun aspect? Or is that like, do you put a different pressure on yourself to monetize it or to perform it? And does it become performative rather than something that you actually want to do? One thing that's kind of like a little, I guess, basic, because it's not really a hobby, it's reading about any topic, anything. I absolutely adore it. I do it as much as I can. With travel, it's great because you can just sit on a plane and read until you fall asleep and then you're somewhere else in the world, and that's amazing. But yeah, any topic, anything, just that kind of pursuit of information is always really I love it. And the fact that you can get that for free anywhere, it's just something that's never left me since I was a child, is that hunger for learning about any subject, anything.
Mm-hmm. What are you reading right now?
Don't know how to monetize that though. Right now, I am reading a book about, it's actually a sciencey book. It's called Once Before Time, and it's about this theory that the universe goes in a loop. Mm-hmm. So like, it's not the Big Bang and that's where it started, but like the Big Bang was like the result of a previous universe collapsing, and then like that's how it started. It's absolutely melting my brain. I can only do like a page at a time before I start going, what the hell is this person talking about? But anything like kind of where it goes into like theories of how stuff, where it came from. I don't necessarily believe in a certain theory or way that things came to be, but reading about other people's perspectives on them is very interesting to me, because that's kind of like their life philosophy, right? So it really gives you a better understanding of how other people think. So that's what I'm reading right now. And I intersperse that with like a lot of just like trashy fantasy novels, like just anything that like, it's always got something going that's got my brain turn off mode, and then like a nice one that challenges me. So like there's a kind of balance there. Obviously I'll only read the ones that make me look smart in public. I'll read the other ones in private, but a little bit of performative reading never hurt anybody.
Like keep the book hidden inside the other book.
100%, and the flask, like just a little sip there as you're going through your book. But yeah, a nice balance I think is always good.
So in the lead up to this, when I had sent you an email asking if you wanted to be a part of this, the idea with branching out is that we're showing that bartenders that you may have heard of came from somewhere and learned everything from someone. Who did you come up with, or what books did you come up with, or what bloggers did you watch? All these things. Let's start whichever one you want to start with.
I'll start, I kind of like, it took me on a really twisted path of like how do you kind of define who has had the influence on your career, right? Like it's such a communal thing, but I have kind of come to a couple across my entire career. The first one is probably the best place to start, but would have been in my first actual cocktail bar job, a man named Sean Baxter. He owns a gin company called Never Never now, who have just kind of gone international. Great gin, shameless plug. But he was actually working for World Class, the first competition I ever entered at the time, and judged my first ever cocktail competition entry, like a national cocktail comp, and really kind of inspired me to go, hey, this drink might not be good, balanced, or even palatable even, but the way that you sold the story was incredible. And then kind of over the coming years, I kind of dedicated myself to going to every training or tasting, and it really changed that mindset of making a drink, but then giving an experience as well. And that pursuit of like making it better and better and what actually tastes good rather than, you know, developing a palate. He was very instrumental in going, maybe you don't need that much sweet or that many sweet ingredients. Like there are other, you know, flavor profiles, and giving me that confidence to kind of experiment, fail, make a bunch of disgusting drinks, and then go, oh, okay, this is, you know, go out to bars that, you know, are reputable, have a drink off their list, ask them for their recommendations, like just really kind of see what the industry is, because I started in nightclubs, nightclub bartending, high volume, really fast, really quantity over quality, to put it nicely. And then to move into cocktail bars, which I started off in very high volume ones, kind of pushing the skew more towards quality over quantity, and what quality actually looked like. So, that was my first really kind of project of really throwing myself into something. And I have him to thank for just constantly going, do this a little bit, like tweak this, or what would happen if you know, made a garnish that was actually functional rather than just there to look good, like, you know, and it was never in a that's wrong way. It was a what would happen if you did this way. So it was such a positive experience learning from someone that was so patient with someone that was so new to the industry, and just kind of celebrated the fact that I wanted to learn. And I still learn from him to today. Like it's, my first actual mentor, I guess you'd say.
Amazing. What were some of the bars that he was encouraging you to go check out?
At this point was the early 2010s in Melbourne, Australia. So things like Gin Palace, Black Pearl. We had Whiskey and Element before it was Whiskey and Element, which was Chez Regine. And the rest are probably a blur because they were coming a bit later in the night.
Because the drinks were really good.
But the drinks were fantastic. I mean, I had my first martini. I was like, what the hell is this? This is awful. Yeah, really learnt, like, you know, what do people order, how they order, what's whiskey, essentially, and how to drink with, you know, for the sole purpose of enjoying it rather than getting pissed, you know? So it was that kind of formative part of, if you're going to do this, do it properly, and we'll kind of show you the ropes of how to do it, not like a child.
So other than Sean, who are we talking about? What are we talking about?
I'd say I have two very wonderful women that I have to thank for showing me that hospitality isn't just either bartending, brand ambassador, or bar owner. Because for so long you think that those are your options, right? You start as a bartender, you manage the bar, you own the bar, or you go, I hate working in a bar, I'm too old, I'm going to be a rep. Like that's kind of the progression there. And then you've reached the ceiling, you move on, you do another industry, or you go back to working in bars again, but work in pubs. Like Millie Tang from Brisbane, Australia, showed me what a hospitality professional could look like that doesn't solely just make cocktails. We kind of grew up in the same era or generation of bartenders at their comp level peak, if you would say, like the height of their media exposure or whatever. And being from Australia, where there's basically just two women at that time, it was really cool to see another woman that was so damn good at what they do, but also just doing it in unapologetically her way. So blending that creative, that photography, that, you know, element of social media before social media was like the way that you got paid. Like she's like, this is the way I'm going to do it. I'm playing to my strengths. And obviously having such a wildly successful career globally, it's just shown me that, oh, okay, don't be so rigid in what you think hospitality has to be and make the career work for you. Like, find your passions and interests and use them, like celebrate them, because that's what makes you unique and special. Like, bring those into the thing. Don't try to be something that you think the industry wants you to be. So that was for me going, oh, okay, like, you work for me, like I do what I want kind of thing. You can make it so many things. You can do what you want and then hate it and then pivot and go, okay, no, I'm going to do something else. Like it doesn't look like a formula anymore. And success in hospitality is such a broad thing, and it's such an intangible thing that you just have to kind of find out as you go, I guess. And the other one who probably I can mirror most of the things that I just said is Anna Sebastian from Anna Sebastian fame. We met on our first world tour, showed us that if you like nice things, you like luxury, like, you know, that's the thing that I want to work in. These are the things that appeal to me. Go make a career out of that. Go use your events, use your contacts, use your skill set that you have to create that kind of world or that clientele or that niche in the market that you want to be around. And we just got so much info from her in how you can network yourself, but also how you can cultivate that image and branding for yourself through those choices that you make. So also obsessed with her. She's just an amazing person. So like those two women like have been so instrumental in going, oh, this is what you do when you just aren't following some rule book that doesn't exist.
Mm-hmm. So with Sean, did you two ever work together, like behind the same bar?
No, actually. So he was always either brand rep or a comp rep or a mentor trainer, does the masterclasses and stuff. Mm-hmm. One of the first people that actually reached out to offer support branding wise when we started doing our tour and asking for some stock donations or, you know, help to get these events off the ground. One of the first people to just be like, whatever you need, we're here. And we're not because it was such a controversial topic, a lot of brands were like, we can help, but like maybe on the download because we don't know how it's going to, you know, look just yet. And that's a big risk for a business. Like it's a liability. Sure. So like we didn't really think that many people would get behind it. But one of the first people to go, no, this is what hospitality looks like. So we're leading by example. That's it. Like we wholeheartedly just support. So even to a couple of months ago from 10 or so years ago, it's always been welcome with open arms. And that's the epitome of hospitality to me, is that generosity of knowledge, that generosity of support and community that he just lives by. Just makes him a really cool guy, really nice guy. Yeah.
What about Millie? Have you two ever worked together?
Not worked together. We've worked adjacent, done comps together and stuff. But she has always been, we're just, like I'm her, like one of her biggest fans, but she's also like hopefully a fan of mine as well. Like it's just such a cool thing that we came from the same kind of start where it's like you're the only token girl in the competition, or you're quite underestimated or not expected to do the things that you do or be outspoken or, you know, lead. You're supposed to follow, I guess. And also just not believe in your own bullshit. Like, you just talk and you're just like, we're just making drinks, man. Like, it's honestly not that hard. Like, it's hard, yes, but it's not hard in the way that you need to take it so seriously. It's not like, it's not this big deal. We're here to make people have a good time. We're here to do art. We're here to like express ourselves creatively. And that's a beautiful thing. But like, I do feel there is a kind of subset of industry professional that does it in a very self-righteous way. But I think along the way, there is that kind of point of forgetting that we're not doing it for ourselves. We're doing it for other people. So she is literally the epitome of like, I take pictures, I make drinks, and it's really fucking cool. So like, you know, it's just really refreshing to have that level of, I guess, success in the industry globally and still be so, not humble, but yes, humble, definitely. But just so low-key about it, just so, yes, that's my job. I'm really good at it, but I don't make a big deal out about it, you know? Like, I really respect that.
Yeah. Do you find that with all the bars that you've worked at, and you were in Sydney for 9 years and you were in Melbourne for a bit before that. Also, yes. I'm doing my best to not pronounce Melbin offensively to
Like
Australians.
Melbin. Yeah.
Melbourne. But is there anyone that you have worked with in the last 10 years that you would say you sort of fill that role of like mentor or inspiration leader, et cetera?
Inspiration leader in someone that I've worked with. There's been a couple actually like here and there that have just either shown me parts of myself that have either been a reflection of what I want to improve on or what I want to celebrate. People that I literally go to war for, like, you know, when you work with someone, you see them more than your family, more often than not. And just people that have just shown generosity in ways that you could only describe as family. Or, I mean, family is probably not a good way because some people don't have families that do that. But people that you know you've had that connection with and that I still think about years and years down the track of going, I wonder how that person's doing. Like, I've shared things with them. I've shared highs and lows and in-betweens with these people that I probably will never see again. And just because, you know, any person that you work that closely with is going to have some sort of effect on your life as a mentor, as a friend, as a lesson in who not to be in life. You know, like it's everyone kind of touches you in that way. And as I'm trying to draw this question out, still trying to think of someone I've worked with that has been really influential. But I'm going to have to say, and not because she's staring at me, Alex, my housemate, Alex Hooker. She, again, started in great bars in Brisbane. Also worked with Millie. Again, she self-proclaimed that she is probably not the best at making drinks, hates people more than I hate people. But again, I never had a kind of person that saw me in the way, flaws and all, and has still welcomed with open arms and going like, yeah, cool, you might be a little bit weird, or you might need a little bit of, you know, extra considerations for however your brain works. But shows up unapologetically and just is like, no, like, we're in this together. Above anything, I know she has my back. And I asked her to be my business partner because whilst I'm good at some things creatively, administratively, I'm not the best. So I don't like to answer the phone. I hate talking on the phone. It makes me freak out. For some reason, this is okay, like the interview.
Yeah, I was going to say, thank you for taking the time to do a podcast.
If I have to answer a phone call, I will have a breakdown. But anything with that image is fine. I just think I struggle with not seeing the face when someone's talking to me. I think I'm in trouble or something. It's really weird.
Right.
And I do get bogged down with like the replying to emails and staying on top of the, you know, kind of administrative tasks. And that's where she shines. And to have someone that's just like, let me do that. Like, I take your thoughts that might be jumbled, I put them into order, and I make both of us better by doing that. To me, it's like, oh, okay, like, again, two skill sets. You don't have to do everything. You don't have to be good at everything. But by working with people that are better than you at things, you become better yourself. Like, if you walk into a room and you think you have to be the best at everything, like, you don't learn anything. So to work with someone that is so much better than me at so many different things, and then I get to learn and absorb that knowledge and grow together as people, like, I think that is the perfect example of where I am in my career. Is like, we're doing it unapologetically our way. We've decided what we like, what we don't like, what we want to do, what we don't want to do. And hopefully next year we actually we're planning on relaunching the brand properly, focusing on a lot of things like wellness in the industry, employee longevity, staff kind of health, how that benefits companies. Like, I mean, you lose money if you lose staff, essentially. So like, how can we make it more of a business, a successful business model, whilst also doing the best that we can from what we learnt from advocating for you know, staff and workplaces. So putting all these things together, all the things that we liked, like we've cherry picked, we like this, we loved talking about this maybe wasn't so successful. And what does that look like as as the next year, the next 5 years, the next 10 years? So being able to kind of share your craziest ideas with someone and be received with excitement and love, that is absolutely changed my life. Like, I've never had that. I've always been told, that's a crazy idea, you go have fun with that and I'll see you when you're done. So like, someone that's just all in and goes, yes, let's go around the world and do this. Like, it's absolutely once in a lifetime for me to find someone like that.
That's amazing. I want to say, I know that before you had mentioned that there was no specific moment and you were always kind of just in the service industry because this is what you've always done and you weren't necessarily making a decision that this is it. I want to say that it's very inspirational that instead of abandoning the industry, instead of choosing something else to go do, you've doubled down, and you're not just going to continue working in it. You're going to continue trying to improve it while working in it. I think that's incredible. Can you tell us where people can find you and how to follow along with this journey that you've decided so definitively to go on?
That's a good question. It has changed a lot. It's been a major project for the past year. You can obviously follow along online. You can follow me, Jenna Hemsworth, on Instagram. You can follow AXXN's company, Real Good Drinks. These will all give you kind of insights as to what crazy idea we've come up with next and what we're doing. But as well, we're working on launching a website with some more resources as well. So things like codes of conduct for businesses that are free to use. So if you are thinking of opening a venue, or you're thinking that you work in a venue or own a venue that might not have every box ticked for keeping your staff safe, happy, healthy, will be a lot of examples of codes of conduct that you can tailor to make to be suitable for your venue. And that's just something that I think is a great thing for any venue to have, is a little agreement as to what behavior we expect from you. Like, every bar has house rules, or most bars have house rules. We expect you to treat people with respect. We expect you not to turn up to work drunk. We expect you to, and not harass each other, And most importantly, these are the consequences if you do break those behaviors, because if you don't outline those at the start, people can kind of go, oh, well, I didn't know that I wasn't supposed to hit someone in the face. Like, you shouldn't, you shouldn't ever have to, but it's surprising that how many people just don't really, they think that because you're working in an industry with such a high risk of, intoxication, booze, abuse, drug use, whatever, that some behaviors are different, or the tolerance for the level of professionalism is different. It's not. It's a job. Everyone deserves to feel safe and respected while they're in it. So setting that example from the start, we can have fun. Our job is great because the perks are that we get to socialize and we get to be around cool products, taste beautiful products, spirits, cocktails, be around the best of the best. But then that line of going, hey, we're also here to protect these people. We're here to enable their good time, but also we're getting paid. So this is a job and you need to take that seriously. Writing that all down and having that as a clear and concrete reminder of what's expected from you when you walk through those doors and get paid. You don't have to get paid to be here. Go elsewhere if that's, not your end goal. And then stuff as well, like what your rights are, how to seek mental support if you're, struggling, because again, this industry comes with a higher risk of those kind of depression, substance abuse, kind of late nights, work-life balance, like burnout is a massive thing as well. So kind of just, we're just looking at setting up a nice little community of, it's been done before. We couldn't have done it without the work that's been done from groups that have come before us, but putting them all together, because again, all of these groups want to work with each other. Like, we don't want to have to do the work 10 times when we could just do it once. So continuing to work with all of these wonderful people globally that we've met so far and we've connected with either online or in person, collating those resources and really just making it way more accessible for people to know what's out there, so they don't feel so alone, or they don't feel so out of option when it comes to that sad part, or that desperation, that part of desperation when they don't quite know what to do. So doing that in as loud and a fun way as possible, because obviously it is a topic that can be emotional and quite upsetting. How do we make that fun? How do we make that, without minimizing people's experiences, how do we make that something that we want to be a part of? So figuring that out as we go. But hopefully a lot more of bringing that positive kind of influence and change into an industry that we've seen, it's given us all so much. Like, I wouldn't still be doing it if I didn't love it, Despite the horrors, we're still here.
Incredible. Really, that's 2025 for all of us.
100%. Despite the horrors, we're here.
Thank you so much for taking time to talk, Jenna. I know that time zones are weird
Yeah, we're a day ahead. I logged onto the Zoom call yesterday going, I'm ready to go, guys. And I was like, oh, it's the wrong day today. So
Well, don't worry. It was just practice. You did great.
100%. That was the draft run, and this is the go time.
That's excellent. Thank you so much again, Jenna. And obviously, we'll plug everything in show notes and all that. And I'll do an intro and an extra, all that. Super, super appreciate you taking the time to talk.
Thank you so much for chatting. It's been amazing. And hopefully we get to cross paths in the future.
Soon. When you're doing a tour in Canada, let us know.
Fingers crossed in the coming start of first half of next year. But you guys will be the first to know, obviously.
I love that. Okay, Aces, Jenna. I'll talk to you soon. You know, for someone that feels awkward and anxious, Jenna was really open and honest with everything in that talk. We really appreciate that here at Branching Out. Engineer Jesse felt especially seen when Jenna was talking about having a business partner that excels at certain things that you don't fully understand, and then by working together, you both end up getting better. As you heard, you can find Jenna on Instagram and her company Real Good Drinks as well. And friends, for now, we aren't starting any new chains. We've progressed up or down the line of bartenders, teaching bartenders much faster than we anticipated. We've already talked to people that have been on the cover of Imbibe and people who have won international cocktail competitions. But we have so much more coming up. I want to keep it a little bit of a secret, though. Keep you on the edge of your bar stool while you're listening to this during Cash Out. If you like what you're hearing, please give us some stars on the app that you're using. Please subscribe, please like. And if you're a bartender, please sign up to be involved with Bartender Atlas. At the very least, you should be following us on Instagram. Branching Out is built by me, Josh Lindley from Bartender Atlas, and Action Pact Studios in Toronto. Theme music was cut together by Aaron Verdonk, and while Never Shutting Up and Whiskey gave me this voice, Jesse Colburn is making it listenable. Talk soon.